Conscious Renegades. I'm Drew.
And I'm Brooke. And today, we're taking on the government! Woo! We're going to break down for you the top 6 candidates running for governor of California in the November 2018 election, so you don't have to do any of your own research, right? How exciting! Just kidding. Go online, look up each candidate who's running, formulate your own opinion, discuss with intelligent people, and get your ass to the polls when it's time. Antonio Villaraigosa has the most complicated last name of the candidates, which is already a turnoff for me. But alas, he's a top pick for Latino voters, so adios mio, let's get to know the man. Antonio grew up in Boyle Heights and was a high school dropout given a second chance. He worked his holy tail feather off and in 2001 became the mayor of Los Angeles. Since leaving office in 2013, he's been rolling in the cash. According to the LA Times, he's made more than $4 million advising companies like Herbalife, which is one of the most annoying businesses out there, but I digress. According to his site, his main goal is to elevate LA's middle class, better our education system, and upgrade transportation. And his history in government speaks to this being truth, as he's attempted to raise income taxes on the wealthy, raised billions for LA's transportation system with a half-cent sales tax, and is quoted as saying he wants to be the Pied Piper of improving schools. Now, one thing I just have to mention is that while mayor, he cheated on his wife with a Telemundo reporter, which landed him a nice little divorce. So, I ask you, can a fuckboy properly run our state's government? Oh, and his campaign contributors, venture capitalist David Bonnet, former Assembly Speaker Fabian Nunez, and Ryan Seacrest? What the?
Delaine Eastin is the grandmother we all wished we had and rocks a killer scarf. Delaine's top priority is education, and as the former superintendent, she stood for low-cost education, smaller class sizes, and pushed to tax big tobacco to fund childhood development programs. She supports Medicare for all, legislation for basic human rights for all races, genders, and abilities, and is an advocate for the fight against climate change. Do I smell Bernie? With only 21.7% of the California legislation being female, she has that running in her favor. She's also the most progressive candidate running and supports socially responsible public banking, which is a hugely important issue. If you don't know about it, Google it. Don't forget to register to vote. Your voice is important, so make it heard this November. And vote Delaine Eastin, because we could all use a little GMA juju in our legislation.
While my initial reaction to Gavin Newsom was somewhat of a, get that lizard away from me, upon reading about his campaign platforms and policy support, I've somewhat softened to the potential reptilian and who I believe to be our most likely win for governor. Gavin Newsom was the mayor of San Francisco for 2 terms. He's a progressive Democrat who helped to legalize cannabis with Proposition 64. He's pro-gun control and was an early supporter of gay marriage, which in politician speak means he probably isn't gay because we all know the ones who are anti-LGBT are usually banging out their truths in secret. He owns 23 businesses. He wants to institute full-service community schools that are open every day. He wants to create a state bank to make low-interest loans. He's got a great smile, charm oozing out of his pores, looks amazing in a suit, but let us pray he's not another wolf or lizard in sheep's clothing and is actually a good guy, because my gosh, are they hard to come by these days. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm talking to you.
All right, this time it's all about John Chiang, and yes, it's pronounced Chung. John prides himself on being a fiscally responsible progressive who, in his tenure as controller and now currently California treasurer, has stood up to Wall Street and saved our state millions with audits and restructuring our state's debt. So in layman's terms, he's like really smart. He's a California native and child of immigrant parents. His primary focuses are the affordable housing and fighting the homelessness epidemic and equal access to college and college affordability. He stands in strong support against sexual harassment and assault and has been an advocate for public banking for cannabis. But hey, John, why not have a public bank for all of us, okay? And not just the potheads? Thank you. Check out this website. It'll literally take you 2 seconds and read a bit more about the details of his platforms and perspectives. Love you, JC. Good luck in the race.
John Cox is a self-funded Republican candidate running for California state governor, and his favorite word is cronies. He wants the cronies out of government, but it's hard to tell if he is one himself. He's a rich AF businessman, but he really wants to grow up to be a politician. Cox has unsuccessfully run for Senate, Congress, and president, but he's not giving up until he also fails to become a governor. One thing that I will say about Cox, which I respect, is he is adamant about fighting corruption. Supposedly. He wants to make California's legislative districts smaller, downsizing from districts of 500,000 and 1 million people to groupings of 5,000 to 10,000 people, which he believes would effectively lessen the grip of special interests. Cox also fought for a 2016 ballot initiative that would require candidates to declare their top 10 donors in their campaign ads and make elected officials wear badges showcasing their biggest benefactors, kind of like Girl Scout patches, only ones some people might not be so proud of. Also worth noting, John Cox did not vote for Trump, but rather Libertarian Gary Johnson. However, he says he now supports regulatory changes pushed by President Trump and the GOP tax bills in Congress. My thoughts, he's whack with a glimmer of not total suckery, but still, while he's supposedly changed his mind since, he once said that he would support a federal constitutional amendment banning same-sex marriage in order to stand for the traditional American family. And to that I say, suck it, Cox.
Travis is a 3-term state assemblyman from Huntington Beach. His motto is to take back California, which sounds to me a lot like Make America Great Again, and plans to do so by eliminating gas tax, which brings in $5.2 million a year to repair California's infrastructure. He stands strong against crime by opposing AB 109, which reduces overcrowding of prisons and overimprisonment of low-level offenders. He's an avid supporter of Israel and took major steps to try and prevent the boycott and divestment of Israel for violating international law for the occupation of Palestinian territories. Allen also stands for water conservation throughout the state, is a Trump advocate, and in case it influences your vote, he knows how to surf. Thanks, Travis Allen, for running to make California great again. You may have noticed that some of these segments are biased. Well, they are, because we have opinions about who we want to win the election, as should you. You've got the highlights of the candidates running now, but be an educated voter. Do your research and find out who you resonate with most. A democracy is only as strong as its citizens' participation, so get yourself to the polls. Educate, register, and vote. See you in November. Good luck, candidates!